Well, we wanted to pick back up with our Out There where we left off last week, and that is underwater civilizations. Now, one of the reasons we want to kind of talk to you about this is because it throws what we understand as the history of human civilization into question. In other words, maybe we don't know the full story. Maybe things didn't develop exactly like they taught us, back in elementary school or middle school or wherever they were teaching us how things came about in this world. Because as we shared with you last week, about 10 years ago, they discovered what appears to be an underwater city in about 2,000 feet of water off the western coast of Cuba. Mm-hmm. And the last time that the water level would have been that low, apparently, so that could have been a city above water, would have been 50,000 years ago. Now, the thing is, our accepted view of human civilization does not allow for human cities of that sophistication 50,000 years ago. I mean, 50,000 years ago, we should have been basically large pockets of distributed humans performing local agriculture. Mm-hmm. And that's it. No cities, no major infrastructure, no water treatment facilities or anything like that. But all that is newer technology. Say the last 5,000 or 6,000 years, a lot of that's come to be. But you go back 50,000 years and we shouldn't be this developed. So that's one thing. Now, they haven't gone back. You'd like to see them go back. I got to imagine it's pretty difficult to, I don't even know if you could, I guess you could dive that. You'd probably use a submarine to go down to 650 meters. Maybe you'd have to dive it in one of those diving suits or something. I don't even know if you could go down that far in a diving suit, 2,000 feet. I've never even conceived of, I wouldn't go that far underwater, that's for sure.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'd be scared to death. But this is not the only example of a city like this that's been found underwater. I wanted to bring you a couple of others that are out there in the world, and you can go and read up on these because, again, we have a limited amount of time here. I can't tell you all the details. I'm going to bring you the less exciting one first, I think, and that is the Yonaguni Monument. Have you heard of the Yonaguni Monument? That's off the southernmost coast of Japan, which Japan is actually a large archipelago of islands, and it actually stretches for quite a long way. So this particular location is only about 100 kilometers from Taiwan. Okay, so right off the coast, basically, of China. Taiwan, obviously, is not China, but it's right next to China. So right in that area at the Ryukyu Islands. And underwater, I think it's about 100 feet of water, there is a structure called the Yonaguni Monument. Yonaguni, Yonaguni, Yonaguni. And you can go out there and look this up because the Japanese scientists that have investigated it have concluded that it does show signs of human intervention. Now, there are other people who've investigated it, including a guy who's kind of known for some out-there type theories named Robert Schoch, who's a professor at Boston University, and he says everything you can see there is completely natural. So you can decide for yourself, folks. There's great videos out there that show you all the different structures, the different areas where it looks like there may be some more symbolic type of structures, faces and things like that. And you can look at it and you can check that out and make your own mind up on Yonaguni. There's another one, though, that is not subject to question, and that is Dwarka. Now, this city was an ancient city, and it was thought not to even exist. There is a modern city of Dwarka in India. This is in the western part of India. And that modern city was supposed to be the successor city to another city that they thought was legendary, and that is the legendary city of Dwarka. Well, guess what? They dived in the Gulf right outside the actual city of Dwarka in about 130 feet of water. And what did they find? But they found the ancient city of Dwarka in 130 feet of water. Now, they think maybe the last time that was above water was something between maybe as much as 7,500 to 10,000 years ago, or maybe as recent as 1,500 to 3,000 years ago, depending on, what happened there. Because the actual legendary story of this city is that this Indian, I'm going to put quotes around there, god, Krishna, I don't know if he technically counts as a god, it's polytheistic stuff. But anyway, he worshipped the Lord of the Sea, and the Lord of the Sea actually gave him 300 square miles out of the ocean to build a city on, the city of Dwarka. And later, the Lord of the Sea reclaimed that and covered over that. So that city is the earliest it could be is 1500 BC. Again, highly civilized, very, very huge structures, monuments, things like that, things that should not have existed necessarily in that time, in that place. So there's some really interesting things out there that call into question a lot of the history that we've been taught. Folks, I'm Morgan Streetman, and that's the way I see it.
Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.